Hello, David Dritsky for the Bond Experience. Welcome back. Now, there's two things that I like to talk about on this channel. It is James Bond style. I mean, look at this. I'm surrounded by it. I'm actually wearing a part of the Bond brands, an all-bar shirt, watch check. Everybody says, where, David, you got to do the watch check thing. You keep forgetting. Watch check. What do they do? The wrist roll? I can't do that. Wrist roll, wrist roll. It's Tomorrow Never Dies. It's the Omega Tomorrow Never Dies. My very first Omega watch. I'm surrounded by the Bond lifestyle. It's one of my key focus. So style, the James Bond style is something I enjoy talking about. The second thing that I enjoy talking about is the celebration of Bond. How much have you heard me say to you, we've got to find little ways, not just big ways, but little ways to celebrate the Bond franchise, to share in that celebration. So you can imagine when a Bond brand decides to celebrate James Bond through style, yeah, my ears perk up. And that's exactly what Globe-Trotter has done. Now, you know Globe-Trotter. If you watch my channel, they are the amazing luggage company, the travel journey company that I've done so many different discussions on, from, oh gosh, Skyfall and SPECTRE and No Time to Die. Heck, I even personalized my own customized one where I picked out all the colors and the accoutrements, and then they sent me one that is a Bond Experience David Zaritsky bag, one of a kind. Yeah, I've gone on a journey with this company. You could say that I have a certain adoration for them. So not too long ago, they had reached out to me and said, David, you know, this is a big year. We're celebrating a bunch of different James Bond movies, and we are celebrating it in a very interesting way. And today, as part of that celebration, I've got this. Now, it just looks, I know, like a plain paper package. Came in a box. We're sort of doing an unboxing. We're doing an unwrapping that's close enough. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Globetrotter's 007 luggage collection has arrived. Link is below, but we're going to talk about it in all its details because it's worth exploring this. Now, when I initially heard about this, I was really curious about what the designers, what the creative individuals at Globetrotter were going to come up with. What side or corner of the Bond world would they lean into to really create a 007 luggage line? Because they've had, Octopussy, they've had, Skyfall, pieces from the movie, No Time to Die, and the different colorways. They've had a lot of attributes. Dr. No, the 60th anniversary, and they were able to really focus on one particular movie or create an homage piece or a replica of that movie. Not in this case. They had to dream a little bit farther beyond, the actual movie moments and use style. And this is why I think I'm so excited about this particular line, because they had to lean on the whole idea of Bond watches, his suits, the different clothing that he's worn, and yes, even classic cars that we know and well. This was all kind of the virtual mood board. Maybe they had an actual mood board that they had to use as their template to create this line. And so I'm going to open this up and we're going to talk about each one of the pieces. But this one was curated in such a way because I had made a request. I have a lot of wonderful pieces from Globetrotter. You can tell I'm a fan of them. But this is something I do not have in their line. And we're going to open it right now. Now, as I'm doing this, please understand something. I try not to edit these parts because this is what it's like if you were to get it. Sealed very well. And the other thing is, I want you to know the sacrifices I make for you and this channel. I received this 4 days ago, and I haven't opened it. Disciplined 007, that's what that is. All right. Oh, I'm seeing it right away. Oh, it's Christmas morning. And here it is. Wow. Okay, so I'm going to give you the first. I'm not even taking the first look. I'm giving you the first look. I haven't even stared at this. But look at the 007 emblazoned on that. Things are wrapped up nicely. Now, if you've watched any of my ones before there, I like to take the wrappings off so we can do nice hero moments of, smells good, of these pieces. So let's do that. I'm gonna cut away. Here it is. All the protective coating is off and you're seeing it in all its glory. So what you're looking at is a gray, classic gray, vulcanized fiberboard. That's what the Globetrotters are made out of. That's what makes them very strong. What makes them very durable and very light. You can see I'm holding this. Now, this is not huge. I mean, look, this is actual size. Now I got a giant head. It's like a Mardi Gras float. It's huge, my head. It's like a, what's my hat size? 59? That's a kibasi, is what I'm saying. It's a watermelon versus a cantaloupe. Why am I going on? I just want you to get kind of the size thing. And by the way, you can see all the specs today when it launches, but this is considered their small attaché. You can see me holding it. It's not a large attaché. This is something that I knew I could use because when I go into New York City for meetings, or if I'm doing a quick flight to Chicago or shooting in and out, so to speak, I don't want a big briefcase. I don't want a lot of commitment. I want something relatively small that I can carry, small and light. It's got to fit all the basics that I need in here, but this is actually perfect. And of course, it's got that very classic Globe-Trotter nail head. And yes, we are going to get some hero close-ups, so you're not seeing me wield these things around. You can see that I'm so happy they chose this classic gray. I mean, think about it. Classic gray goes so well with Bond, from his watches to his suits, and also, I mean, let's just say it, his cars. It epitomizes elegance and sophistication that Bond brings out. He really susses out in all of his films. It's incredibly not only rich from a non-Bond standpoint, but it really smacks of the world of Bond. There are some details worth talking about. First of all, on the handle itself, very subtle. This, all right, maybe not so subtle, but I love that there's, we'll call it a commemorative plaque for the celebration. I do like those type of things because this is a collector's item. So I like the fact that there's a little bit of an homage, and let's face it, people that know me know that I like 007 and James Bond, not a secret. But this is subtle. The handle is very subtle. You can see that it's actually pressed, I guess you would call it embossed, into the leather. And then you've got the Globe-Trotter symbol on the side, right, that says quality. And by the way, speaking of quality, this just, it looks and feels great. All of these that go through the factory, they go through a quality assurance. But I'm noticing something that I wouldn't typically see on an attaché. And we got to call it out because you're seeing it, I've got to see it, and I've got to be transparent with you. I'm seeing this like hook, which leads me to believe, and judging from the sound that's going on in here, that there is a strap, which would turn this into something a little bit more than an attaché. So we are going to open this puppy. I'm going to do this right in front of you. Again, you're seeing this before I do. Here we go, here we go. Oh. All right, there's a lot to unwrap in here, literally and figuratively. So first of all, as you can see, there is a leather, it looks like it's silver embossed 007 Globetrotter. Here, again, another commemoration of the piece and the celebration. We've got the Globetrotter suitcase, production number. This is probably the information and the warranty. We know all about that. And then this right here must be the strap. But before we get to the strap, look at this interior. That is gorgeous. And by the way, what you're seeing is a navy fabric that covers the interior of this case. I do happen to know that this navy interior, stay open you, is in the lining of every piece in the collection. Again, color choices. Globetrotter nailed it because what says Bond more than navy? Nothing. And then you've got the gray and the black and the colorway. So you've got a little bit of Daniel Craig and you've got a little bit of Sean Connery and you've got a celebration of 007. Just dealing with the colors, just connecting it with the Bond brand. But I got to see about this strap. Now, other channels would cut away, you know, but no, I'm gonna unwrap this strap because I have not seen this before. I've seen a lot of Globe-Trotter pieces. Oh, good. Okay. So let me tell you what's going through my mind right now, besides what's for dinner. That's just typical. Danielle's a very good cook. I was hoping that this wouldn't be a black strap, that there would be an accent that may be tied to the inside. And look what we got. Navy. And the navy matches perfectly the interior of the attaché. There we go. That's about where I would wear it. So now it's part attaché still, of course, but it's also like a messenger bag. This is how people would carry, for example, a messenger bag around the city. You may just hold it like this. Typically, I would hold an attaché with just my hand to my side. But if I was running with other things like, let's say luggage, let's say Globe-Trotter luggage, I would put the strap on and then I would wear it around. Super comfortable. And I think a part of the comfort level is how wide this is. This is very wide. The thinner ones, now I'm getting into details, but they tend to bite into you. They bite into your shoulder. This seems very comfortable. And because it's so light, it is extremely comfortable. I don't feel like this is weighing me down in any way. But as I mentioned, probably, if I'm being frank, as opposed to David, then 8 times out of 10, I would hold it like an attaché. So lest you think this is down to a small attaché and that was the extent of it, no. Globe-Trotter has a 4-wheeled carry-on. They've got checking cases. They've got, and again, all in this same classic gray vulcanized fiberboard body. Gray leather straps feature actually on the Globe-Trotter's 4-wheeled carry-on. The navy fabric in all of these pieces. And what I loved about this is that they truly they epitomize kind of that lifestyle, look, that sartorial moment that we try to capture in Bond every single day. This is a manifestation of it. It is obviously it's Globetrotter, so it's all about luxury and travel and journeys and taking something special with you. But in addition to that, they also have wallet and they have a passport. So as you can imagine, when you think wallet and passport, carry-on, check-ins, and yes, attaché, this is pretty much everything the budding 007 agent in the field would need, all in one collection. And that's why it's a celebration. It's not just a celebration of Globetrotter. Globetrotter decided to, we'll call it amplify, right? They amplified the whole James Bond franchise into their collection, doing what they do very well. I really like the fact that Globetrotter wanted to do something beyond just the luggage and the attaché. I mean, obviously that would have all been enough, but they wanted to do different price points so people had choices, right? So they have 4 different charms. Check this out. They have emblems from the films like SPECTRE. They've got a poker chip like from Casino Royale. They've got appropriately for Goldfinger, Odd Jobs top hat. And they have just a basic, but iconic 007 luggage tag. So something that connects to every palette. Now, one thing you would have noticed, and maybe you're commenting on this, is that this is I'll call it a box attaché. There's attachés that have little pockets and corners and places for your laptop and documents and pen holders and things for wires. This is much more like the traditional one. Think From Russia with Love, for example. This is more traditional in that it is essentially a box. You can put whatever you want in there. You can even customize it with different things from office stores to have laptop holders and all of those things. You really make of it what you want. But in essence, this is supposed to be for you. You put whatever you want in the box, just like Bond would do. Think of SPECTRE when he had to pack his bag. And by the way, they showed his bag in an actual exhibit in Paris. And sure enough, there were all the brands that we know and love in the bag itself, in the Globe-Trotter. That's something similar. You could even conceivably use this to pack a quick overnight if you just needed some basics, because it is the right size. I intend to use this out in the wild. That's right. This discussion is only one part of a multi-part engagement, because if I'm truly going to use this as the celebration this is, I want to celebrate it out in the world. So we're going to take it out into the world, and that'll be a different video, a different discussion, little Instagram post. I think you know how I roll. So we're going to do this out in the wild. And yes, if it gets scuffed, if it gets dinged, then it's a representation of my journey, right? What would Bond do? Bond would use this thing and not stick it on a shelf somewhere. So I'm not going to treat this in a precious way, because Globe-Trotter, the stuff they make is made to last. And guess what? FYI, it's made to be used. So amazing stuff. I'm so excited about their collection. Again, there's a link below that will take you to the entire collection. Go check it out. Chances are there's something pretty cool for you in there as well. And then I'll see you when we come back and do the in the wild, gorillas in the mist type test of this small attaché case. What will I put in it? Only time will tell. Everyday carry? We'll see. In the meantime, this has been David Zaritsky for the Bond Experience. We'll see you real soon. Take care. Thanks for watching this episode. If you want to be up on the latest from the Bond Experience, just click on this subscribe and subscribe to our channel. You're going to get all the latest and greatest information, plus some exclusive content. And by the way, speaking of content, here's something especially for you, just because we know you. Talk to you soon.